All right. Hey, y'all. Welcome back to the third quarter. Hazlitt versus Mason here on LansingHerald.com. That kick returned out to about the 34-yard line, and that is where the Vikings will take over. Excuse me, they'll spot that up at the 39-yard line. Glenn, you want some halftime scores and stats?
I do want some halftime scores, and what do you got, Colton?
Well, first of all, let's start with the stats from this game. We'll start with the Hazlitt offense. And, of course, Nakia Amakri has been the main story, right? 12 carries for 84 yards for him. He leads the entire Hazlitt offense in total yardage. Handoff up the middle. Amakri gets 6. That'll get him up to 90 yards for the game. As a whole, they're running for 159 yards on the ground. Smith has 39 yards on 4 carries and a touchdown. Only 3 passing attempts for Pavona, completed 2 of them. They have 174 yards of total offense.
One of those was a shovel pass in the backfield.
But they also have 29 penalty yards on a pair of crippling holdings that have really hurt them. In the gun, handoff Amakri again, right side. He's their bread and butter over the 45, into Mason territory to the 41, and a gain of 13 yards. Martell getting the tackle. On the flip side, Mason's offense has generally just been more productive. They have 251 total yards of offense, 116 on the ground, 153 through the air. Colin Page, 3 catches, 100 yards. A.J. Martell, 9 carries, 54 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Kaysen Carswell has come in and completed both of his passing attempts for 83 yards. The freshman doing well with the offense so far. We'll see if that can continue. But yeah, with penalties, Hazlitt's offense only has 139 total yards of offense. Handoff, Smith up the middle, going to get hit. And he's going to get about 4.
And Ettinger making a stop for the Bulldogs.
We've also got some halftime scores for you.
What do you got, Colton?
We'll start from the highest division that we cover. The teams we have left, seeing as how Grand Legend Holt are out in Division 2. South Lyon leads East Lansing 21-6 at halftime.
That is a surprise. I expected East Lansing to be a little bit closer in that game, but South Lyon putting the whooping on them.
East Lansing was a slight favorite from the Lansing State Journal. Pavona, deep, middle, got a man. That's some really good defense, but an even better catch at the 14-yard line. That's a gain of 23 yards. Hazlitt's offense coming through big there. That's Jay Gornick, his first catch of the game.
We're going to call Jay Gornick Elmer. Got glue on his hands, man. Throw him. Such a trusted receiver out there. A great catch.
10 minutes to go, third quarter. We'll let this drive work itself out, and then we'll get back to scores. 2 receivers set to the left.
Nobody on this side of the field. Look at that.
Pavona in the gun. Handoff, Amakri up the right side down to the 10-yard line. That's Lonnie Smith on the carry. Excuse me.
So it's difficult sometimes, especially with the way the numbers are. Smith runs upright.
Yeah.
Amakri runs on a swivel.
Gain of about 4. They'll spot the ball inside the 10-yard line. Pavona directing some traffic. He's got Smith to his left. 3 receivers set. 2 of them are set tight to the right. Give. Smith wants the corner. Gets the block inside the 5. Down to the 2-yard line. Down to the 1. First down, Lonnie Smith. Gain of 8 and Hazlitt knocking on the door on this first possession of the second half.
Hazlitt football, first down.
How cold is it, Colton? The tripod is freezing.
Pavona in the gun, got Smith to his right. The give, Smith to the goal line, pushing. He's in. Touchdown, Lonnie Smith.
Getting it done the hard way, up the middle, bring everybody with you. Push the pile for the Hazlitt Viking touchdown.
Second touchdown of the game for Lonnie Smith, and the Vikings are an extra point away from tying this football game.
Ideal Mortgage Services, LLC, with your touchdown call.
And to attempt the extra digit for the Vikings, number 10, Brady Drizzle.
Zach Nartker to hold for Brady Drizzle, the senior. Snap good, spot down, kick on the way, it's up, it's good, and we are tied at 21 apiece.
They're fired up right now coming off, and why not? Take the ball, you had possession, run it down their throat, give it to Mr. Smith up the middle for the Vikings TD.
They took the ball 61 yards in 3 minutes and 4 seconds. Didn't take them long to get down the field. Got contributions from Lonnie Smith, Dekai Hamakri, and a big 23-yard pass to Jay Gornick that really set it up. We've got a Let's Go Hazlitt cheer going on this near sideline. All right, let's get back to those scores real quick.
You're teasing me here, Colton. What's DeWitt doing? Come on.
DeWitt leads Mount Pleasant at halftime, 22-17.
22-17. We knew that was going to be a barn burner of a game.
Good close game out there. Obviously, this one it's 21-21. Portland leading Olivet 21-14 in a close game at the half in Division 5. Don't have any reports from Millington Lansing Catholic yet in D7. Pewamo Westphalia knocking off New Lothrop. They're up 33-7. In Division 8, we got an interesting one. Fowler leading Breckenridge 18-14 at halftime.
That is interesting. I knew you wanted to go back to New Lothrop to watch PW New Lothrop again, so.
You know, that game was cold, but it was fun.
That game, they had to take snowplows to the field.
And in the 8-player side of things, Morris leads Cologne 14-8. That kickoff is muff, but he picked it up. No one else near him. It was a pretty easy play to make. But it will slow him down on the return, and Mason will have a bit of a longer field than they've had on previous possessions. All right, so with 8:49 to go, it's 21-21.
All right, can we talk about something that we haven't talked about, Colton? Let's go back to the Lonnie Smith touchdown. Lonnie Smith hit the line of scrimmage, hit the goal line, and was at a dead stop. Who came in? The lineman. Pushed everybody back, brought him with him, got the touchdown. Told you it was going to be an inside-out game.
Both of these teams, obviously, goes without saying, they want to run the football. It's what they built a lot of their reputations around. Keeping it himself.
Is this Page again?
Bushy on the carry. Still no word on what's going on with Nick Wells. He left the game and did not return. Didn't notice an injury or anything of that sort. Gain of 4 for Alex Bushy. Had 54 yards on 4 carries in the first half. Badgley and Baker split out here to the left. Badgley keeps it himself again, up the middle, breaks the tackle, got more, over the 30, bounces off the ref,
wow.
Still going to the 44-yard line. 18-yard gain for Alex Bushy.
You know when they say the refs give you the game sometimes? They slowed him down. That happens, though. Thank you to the refs for all that they do.
Bushy's longest carry of the game, 6'2" senior. Doesn't want his season and his career at Mason to end tonight.
Oh no, it's 0-0 right now, heading midway through the third.
8:02 to go in the third.
Ball's at midfield.
4 receiver set, trip set to the left. Martell in motion, the give. Right side, up over midfield, still going. 45, down to the 39-yard line. Gain of 16 and a first down.
A.J. Martell accelerates in the seam, right, in between tackles faster than about anybody I've seen. He went from behind the line of scrimmage to in front of it within 2 strides.
Yep. No, he's fast, but he gets up to speed quickly, and that's really crucial, especially when you're trying to hit and turn that corner like he does. They use him out of that sweep so much. A lot of his runs have to be long and looping, so he has to get up to speed quickly because he's running further than, a running back taking a handoff. 3 receiver set, Bushy. Keeper, up the middle, pushing for 4.
Number 5, Bushy with the carry for the Bulldogs. Making a stop for the Vikings, number 55, Keith Whitfield.
7:26 to go in the third. call it a gain of 5 for Alex Bushy. Three receiver set for him again. He fakes the keeper, throws deep right side, incomplete, lots of contact, lots of flags. I don't know who this is going to be on. Lot of contact between receiver and corner.
Wow.
It will be pass
One, the
interference on
athleticism,
Hazlitt.
2, the attempt, and 3, the call. Just wow.
I can't tell who that was.
We'll see, though. We'll see.
Far side of the field.
They're not moving the ball yet.
Mason.
Now they are.
Football, first down.
So the DPI on Hazlitt.
Bend don't break, Vikings up against the wall now.
Will be
If you're Mason, again, these little tightrope moments.
Will be a 15-yard penalty. First down and 10, ball in the 19. Mason in the red zone. They've got that 3-back formation they used at the goal line earlier. Now they're moving into an offset eye, power right. Lots of people moved. It is going to be false start on Mason. They'll give 5 of those yards right back.
That's going to back up 5 yards.
So first and 15 now
Mason football,
for the
first
Bulldogs.
down, 15.
I want to take the opportunity to thank all of our local sponsors. We talked about Merck's Meat. We talked about Orthopedic. Thank you for making all of this happen.
So same formation despite the longer down and distance. Moving into that eye again. The give to the fullback, coming the other way. Hazlitt unfooled.
Nobody fooled there.
Ethan Ettinger on the carry. I don't think he got anything. Yeah, they tried to set it up like they were going to go to Martell over the right side. Instead, gave it to Ettinger the other way, and he didn't get anywhere. 6.5 to go, third quarter. Second and 14 coming up for Mason.
Sometimes you outsmart yourself. They had Martell on the move.
4 receivers set for the Bulldogs.
Watch 26 on the jet sweep.
Nick Wells is back in the game. Wells stepping up, throwing, single coverage, right side. It's incomplete at the goal line. Almost picked off.
It's a tightrope. Goodness gracious.
Number 8. Badgley incomplete.
Intended for Badgley.
Fitzpatrick and Rosenbrook with the coverage for the Vikings. Mason football.
If you're Mason, you just keep breathing.
D'Angelo Fitzpatrick, who picked up the DPI earlier with a nice pass break up there, almost had the pick. They're going to give it to Martell over the right side. Got some blocks.
What a move by Martell.
Great run up to about the 11.
Making a stop for the Vikings, 14 Fitzpatrick.
Gain of 12 for Martell, and that will bring up fourth down. Mason, they knew going into that play this was 4-down territory. They did this earlier when they were down here at this part of the field.
Mason won't flinch here. But will they go for the field goal? That's interesting. You're running out of possessions at this point.
Mason
Do
going to
you
call
trust your
timeout to
kicker?
talk about it.
If you notice, the wind has picked up a little bit. If we're going to look out at the flag, that flag was stone still earlier and has picked up. The kick would be into the wind. Not a lot, but maybe enough. We'll see what they do.
Mason, their kicker, Natalia Pluff, the senior. She's made all 3 of her extra points so far.
Do you need help paying for college?
Squibs her kickoffs.
I don't know. This is interesting. This is going to be an interesting call.
Well, 4th and 4 on the 13. And the challenge now is that Hazlitt has really found ways to move the football on you, right? Especially like that first drive of the third quarter, drove right down the field and scored quickly. You don't want to give them.
No,
you don't want to potentially give them, even if it is a long field,
No, if you're Mason, it's a simple question. Do I have a better chance at getting points, or do I trust my defense? We're going to find out the answer here. Because if you're going for it on 4th and down, you have no confidence in your defense to stop the Hazlitt Vikings.
I don't think you call timeout to send your kicker out there. That would be my
good
considered
observation.
opinion.
That's fair. You wouldn't ice your own kicker. That would be stupid.
Come on, defense!
All right, here we go. Call
In
it.
fact, here comes the offense. Believe they've got Bushy out there. 4 receivers set. Blitz comes. Under pressure, immediately down he goes! They dialed it up and it worked! Lonnie Smith. That's a huge stop.
They sent the house! Hazlitt sent the house! You know what they did? They sent the landing party.
Lonnie Smith disguised that so well. I think that's the
We
thing
talked
there.
about
He lines up as the nickel back in that play, right? He looks like he's just going to drop off in coverage right before the snap. He starts running forward. He timed his run perfectly. That's the kind of stuff you do in Madden.
Yeah, that.
Let's make some calls on offense.
All right, so Hazlitt, you just stole the momentum. We said, was Mason going to try it? Were they going to kick it? Lonnie Smith showed up and said, no, we're done. Go home. Go back to your side of the field.
Well, let's see. Momentum's only as good as your next play call, right? Let's see.
Right. There's
Hazlitt
still
football.
so much football to be played.
Give, right side, a Mockery. He's in trouble. Steps up, breaks free, and gets a few yards. He probably should have lost 3. He turned it into a gain of about 7. That's what you do when you're just like one of the best players on the field.
Yeah, and what's interesting is the longer those plays, the more elongated. When that field stretches out and those players are flying all over the place, a Mockery might feel like he's in trouble 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage. With that field open up, it actually allows him more room to move. You're in a better situation when he's back there and players are flying around than he is up close.
In the gun, tight formation, high snap. It's over Pavona's head. Loose ball on the ground. It's going to be picked up by Pavona back at the 4. Loss of 19 on the play.
That's number 5, Isaac Pavona, making the recovery 4.
That could have been a whole lot worse. But obviously now you're pretty anxious if you're Hazlitt because you're looking at 3rd and 24 in the shadow of your own goalposts.
Yeah, so we talked about this earlier, right? We talked about it on the Hazlitt side. All Mason wants to do right now, you want to win this possession. Just stop Hazlitt, get the ball at midfield, start over.
In the gun. They're going to hand it off.
Nowhere to go.
A Mockery not getting anywhere.
Mockery with the carry. Making a stop for the Bulldogs, number 12.
So the miscue for Hazlitt doesn't result in the turnover,
Football, 4th down.
but it will leave Hazlitt in a punting situation. They're not going to be able to get anything out of that huge stop they got. Brady
All right,
Gisal
so we
will
just
come
watched
in.
2 punchers are trading fists right now in the 6th round, or so it feels. Back and forth we go, 3:34 to go.
Good snap. Gisal puts his foot into it, end over end. He's looking for a roll, and he's not going to get it. It hit and died at the 38-yard line. That's the risk you run when you try to hit that ball over and over. That's why in the pros, they'll usually try to put that sideways spin on it. It's almost like it's got a spiral, like you were throwing it out of your hand, because the bounce is more predictable. Gisal was trying to go end over end to try to get an extra bounce and a roll, but it backfired on him, and now Mason will have a short field.
All right, so this plays into Mason's hand. There are difference makers on this field, and they're playing like it tonight.
3:21 to go, 3rd quarter. Heavy I formation now. Offset to the right for Mason. Toss play to Martell. Looking for the corner, and he'll get a couple of yards before being run out of bounds. Nice job by Hazlitt to string that play out to the
Felt like a
sideline.
Williamston play, Colton.
It really did.
I don't know that Mason does that, though.
Not really. Not really. They'll usually try to spread the field instead of trying to overpower you on those kind of, like the sweep is something they run all the time, but they usually run it with the back out of the slot, lined up more as a receiver than out of the backfield with all the blockers. Mason, believing that they can outmuscle Hazlitt at the point of attack, hasn't worked so far. Now they're out in a 4-receiver set in the gun. Bushy keeps it himself.
Who's the end on that side?
Turns
stopped
the right
him? Is that a flag?
corner. We got a flag down, yeah.
That looked like a flag on the point of contact, though.
Gain of a couple. We'll see what the whistle's for. As
That's
it stands,
usually
it's a gain
high
of
hit
3.
or a helmet.
Looks like they are marching it backwards. I think it's
Maybe
about to
the
be
ref
holding.
saw it and was just waiting for the play to develop. We'll find out.
It will be holding.
Against the Bulldogs.
Come on, defense!
10 yards from the spot on the clock.
That
So
is
that-
uncharacteristic of Mason. I think the stress of the game is starting to tear at those seams just a little bit more.
That is their first holding penalty of the game, their 3rd total penalty. And we talked about this last time we covered Hazlitt, how they needed to keep their penalties in check. They've done a good job of that tonight, only 4 penalties. Play action. Rolling left is Wells. Under pressure now. Tucks it. He's trying to run it. He's going to lose a lot of yards. That's a big loss.
We've been waiting for the defensive front four of Hazlitt to show up, and they just showed up right there.
Nick Wells, honestly, he panicked when he saw the rush, and he tucked it instead of just chucking it out of bounds. That's a big mistake, and that'll bring up 3rd down.
Come on, D!
Mason has gone backwards on this possession. 3rd and
Hazlitt's-
23. This is huge.
Hazlitt's defense is shorn up in this second half.
Come on, D!
Line to gain is the Hazlitt 28. Mason on their own 48. 3rd and 24. 4-receiver set. 4 down for Hazlitt. They rush 4. Rolling right is Wells. Throws that side. Caught.
Give him so much.
Up over the 40 to the 38-yard line. Complete to Tyler Baker. It's a gain of 14. And now it's another decision time for Mason. And I think they're going to go for this.
So this is the 2nd play in a row that we've seen Mason's quarterback go backwards with the ball, at least 8 to 10 yards, drawing everybody towards him.
He loves that long play action rollout. He's done that several times in this game. He uses it to create space. And now it looked like he was dropping back to punt.
Timeout.
Hazlitt calling timeout to think about it, but I think
That's a costly timeout. In a game like this, you need all of them for the end of the game.
Mason was actually about to back out and punt that football. That's what it looked like anyway. What it looked like Nick Wells was about to do.
What a game.
It's been fun. This has been a fantastic game. And with 1:49 to go in the 3rd, honestly, it's a toss-up. If you've got your,
But what I'm seeing is I am seeing Hazlitt start to play with the Hazlitt defense starting to play with a little bit more pep in their step. Mason, they've gotten away from what brought them here. They are not running Martell right now. Why would you take a guy who had 3 touchdowns in the first half and essentially shelve him? You're out decoying yourself from points.
looks like they will punt, and I believe they're going to bring on Natalia Pluff to do so. So yeah, ultimately that will go down as a waste of a timeout for Hazlitt, I think, because Mason was planning on punting that football. They had no way of knowing that. Obviously not necessarily a bad decision, just an unlucky one. Low snap. This is Calder Myers on to punt. So we bounce and roll.
That's a great kick.
25-yard punt, but again, it drops at the 13-yard line, so no touchback, no return. You're not upset about that if you're Mason, because you've just forced Hazlitt now to go the length of the field again.
This is championship football.
And these
We
are
knew
two
this was gonna
teams
be
that
one of the best games in the area, and it's feeling like it.
these are two teams that have aspirations to go somewhere beyond tonight.
Absolutely.
Whoever loses this game is going to be disappointed in how their season ended. 1:40 to go. In the third quarter, 21-21. The snap. Delayed handoff. Right side. Lowering his shoulder. Picking up a couple. It's going to be Andrew Pugmire on the sweep. Gains 5, his first touch of the night. The senior getting involved. Usually good for a handful of carries and receptions every night. They use him in a couple of different ways, usually more in the second half.
He is swift. One of the toughest players on the field, too.
Now they're splitting him out all the way to the far side of the field, one-on-one with Landon Warren. Handoff up the middle. Nice carry from Amakari. That's going to move the chains.
Good job, O-line. Keep it up.
That's all I want to see out of Hazlitt. I want an 8-minute drive right now, right down the field. 90% runs. Just pound it. Put the clock in your back pocket, take it all the way down.
Less than a minute to go in the third.
It's tough to be that disciplined, though.
The snap. Keeping it himself is Pavona. He's going to get a couple before being swarmed by Bulldogs.
By a pack of Bulldogs.
Baker in on the tackle. With 30 seconds to go in the third, we'll see if the Vikings decide to run another play or if they just want to run this into the fourth quarter. Well, they got the fingers up. We're going to quarter number 4. We're tied at 21 with 12 minutes to go.
Here's the absolute truth of what we're seeing right now. This score is 0-0, and your entire season is coming down to one final quarter.
District championship football. A title on the line here in Mason.
What a
Fourth
game.
quarter coming up, 21-21, Hazlitt versus Mason. You're watching District Final Football on LansingHerald.com.
Investigators work hard to keep people safe on the internet. For more information on how to keep your family safe online,